Hi, hi guys. We are here with the band Vansind. We have Gustav and Lena, who will talk to us a little bit about their band and new single that's about to be released. So let's jump right in. So, guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
And
Thank
all right, so let's start. So, Vansind, how did you guys came together? I saw that you guys got together in 2019. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Okay,
Mhm.
that sounds
so
right.
how do you guys came together, please?
I think like our drummer and
Right.
his girlfriend, they had the idea to start a folk metal band. She plays the keyboards and flutes and Swedish bagpipes and like everything you need to folk metal band. They just
Yeah.
need the metal part. Um, at which point he contacted me, and we had another guitarist at that point. I play guitar, and then it was just a bunch of people that Danny had played in other bands with at some point in the past, and then Lena here, what hadn't been in a metal band before, but you knew our
you.
keyboard player, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know her.
But Lena, have you been in bands before?
I have another band, but we play some copy numbers, so it's not really, yeah, original songs. So
Right. Just for the people watching this, especially the ones who may be singers or not, is it a different challenge? Is it more challenging to be in a folk metal band or to do covers?
um, yeah, I don't know. It's more fun, I think.
Right.
Uh, yeah.
Okay. So you guys got together in 2019. When did the first song come along? Not when you guys released it. How did it
Okay.
came to the
Um, actually, the first, like, I wrote primarily the most part of the first song. I didn't write the lyrics or the vocal melodies, but the instrumental part I did. Um, and that was, I think it was like 2017 or something. Like Danny had the first ideas of doing this band, and he wrote to me, Gustav, can you write some folk metal? And I wrote in Guitar Pro, okay, I listened to the first Svartsort album again, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something in this style. Then I wrote that track, and we didn't touch it for a couple of years till Danny contacted me again. Was like, okay, let's do this band now. And then that was the first track we started to rehearse. Um, and we had the idea of the beginning that we were going to start with one single and like try to make that song good uh, instead of starting like making a whole set
right?
in right away. So the first rehearsal was Danny, me, and the bass player Morten, and we just rehearsed that one song uh, over and over again.
Right. So so at the beginning when you guys had the first one, it was just the three of you, right?
No, we were in talks with other members, but they came in like the keyboard player already agreed,
Right.
but couldn't attend the first rehearsal, and
Okay.
I think he was also in talks with both Lena and our other singer Joachim um, at the time, and another guitar player who
Right.
sadly didn't work out with. So now we have another guy who did the
Right.
upcoming EP.
Okay. So how did it came the idea to have two singers? Because not some folk metal bands have two singers, not
Mm.
all have. It's not like you need a drummer, you need a guitarist, and at least one bass player. You can have folk instruments or not, but not all bands have two singers. So what made you guys go that way?
Yeah, I think it was Rikke and Danny again who wanted it to be that way, and yeah,
Like I quite enjoy like Iluvaiti and stuff like that with the two singers, but yeah, I was just when I was asked to come and join, they were already in the idea of okay, we're gonna do this two singer thing, and was none of us has done it before. Like we played in a bunch of bands, and I had never worked with female vocalists before. Like, and also most of the stuff I've done before has not had a lot of clean singing, so it was quite the challenge. You actually have to write melodies that people can sing over, and not just do whatever you like.
Yeah. Do you find it easier or harder to work this way?
Um, I I think I'm quite lucky in this band that we have a lot of very good musicians. The level of musicianship I find is really high. Like I'm taught like everything by myself. Just bought a bass guitar first, and then I started playing, and then later a guitar. So coming to a band where like some of them, our bass player Morten, for example, is classically taught, always talking about telling us, oh, you can use that scale and you can just use that chord after this one and stuff like that. I didn't know, and so like also with the first track single there, Valborgsnat, um, I just did do what I do, like write the riffs and the melodies, and then Lena came on and like, okay, I can do this vocal line over it, um, which really elevates the level of the music.
Right. So, when you guys started writing that song, did you already had an idea what the song would be about, or did you just write the music and then ask Lena to do the vocal parts and perhaps write lyrics?
Like when I wrote the melodies and stuff,
Right.
the in Guitar Pro, the song was literally called folk song. It had it had there was no idea other than okay, I'm gonna do some folk metal, and then Lena and Joachim, if you want to talk about the process of doing the vocals for it.
Joachim wrote the lyrics to Valborgsnat, and I get to sing the melody I want to and try it off, and when you get it, and you know you get it, and then yeah, it's how we do it. It's yeah, but some of the others, the new ones, I've also been writing some of it, and yeah, so it's we work together. We all work together somehow.
Do you guys like bounce ideas to each other? Like you finish a bit of the song and then you send it to everyone, and someone else picks it up and adds something to it, or does one of you work the whole foundation for the song? Let's call like a basis for the song, and then people can build upon it.
Like we've done different things. Most of the songs have come about with either me or all the guitarists, Thor, coming with a melody or riff or an almost complete song, and then we start rehearsing it, and then everybody just chimes in and adds to it, and so the music is like if you change one part of this band, I think it would sound completely different because everybody is just adding great stuff onto it. Especially on the upcoming EP here, I really feel that like I came with some ideas for some of the songs, and the song ended up being something completely different than I imagined it was gonna be, and it's way better than anything I could just sit down and do myself. I really like this process we have had going for it.
Right. So before we jump in and talk more in depth about your first song, your upcoming song, and your EP, just talking a little bit about working with 7 people, because that must be a little bit like challenging, perhaps.
Yeah, it's quite the challenge. There's a lot of voices, and everybody likes like their ideas, and they everybody wants to say something. But there's a lot of things we needed just to take to a vote, just to
Right.
get it over with, because we could debate anything forever because there's so many people. We're never gonna agree fully on everything.
Of course.
So it's always okay. There are some parts I might have wanted to do differently than we did, but I think it turned out great how it was. But I think everybody is happy with how everything went. But if you ask any one of us, there would be a part that, okay, I hate that he did that thing, instead of he should have done that instead, or whatever it is. But in the end, most of us have like the responsibility for our own instrument.
Right.
I'm not gonna go tell a drummer Danny that he shouldn't play that rhythm there unless I really find it awful. If he thinks that fill is the right one, then it's probably the right one.
Okay. So that's very interesting how democratic the whole process is, because
Exactly.
it must be quite challenging to manage. It can be challenging with a band of 4 people, let alone a band
Yeah.
of 7. So it's actually very interesting that you guys do that, and even more that you make it work. That's the most important thing, is that you make it work, and that's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, now moving on, concerning your first song, what's it about? What's the song about?
Do you want to tell about it?
I think you wrote, or you do the lyrics, right? So I thought maybe you'll talk about it.
Yeah. It's about the war in England. No, not the war, but
Oh, we're talking about the first song or the new song?
the new, or is it the first song?
Actually, I first asked about the first one, then we will move to
Okay, yeah.
the new one.
So Valborgsnat.
Yeah, so and then we jump to the EP and recurring themes, because this is something
Sure.
that I will edit this part out, don't worry about it. But this is something that interests the fans, which is the themes that the bands talk about, because
Yeah.
a lot of them really relate to the stuff, especially in folk metal, when you are telling stories and talking about actual historical events. Some people, really take it to heart. So I really like to explore this part with bands, not just the the process of music, because they can listen to it and come up with an opinion for themselves, but the message that you are putting in and what you are talking about, because that will bring people to your music. Right, so okay, about the first song, what's the theme? What's the setting for the song, and what you guys want to say with it?
Yeah, it's about 2 people that are actually just a girl, a really young girl who became pregnant, and that was not a very good idea. She was too young and not married, and so she had to get rid of the baby. And yeah, it's actually very sad.
Right.
So yeah, maybe someone has done her wrong. Maybe
Right.
some man or a guy, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so concerning your new song, that one, like it seems to me like it had a more of an actual historical background, and not so much as a
Exactly. Like the first one is like, it's kind of inspired. Like some of the words that are used are kind of inspired by Viking Age mythology,
right?
but it's just kind of pulling on that mysticism from that age. But this new EP we're coming is much more directly based on historical events from the Viking Age.
Right. So going into specifics, which ones, which events, where, what happened?
Yes, it's about the conquest of England by Danish king
Right.
Sven Forkbeard in the year 1013.
Right. So will since this song, this new song that is coming up, so you want to name the song first before I talk more
Yeah,
about it.
the song is called Den farefulde færd, which is on the dangerous journey. I think you could translate it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a song that will be in the upcoming EP.
Yes, it
Right.
will.
Right. So is the EP more focused on historical stuff? Is it the story, or is it loose themes but all relating to Viking age and myth?
It's pretty closely related to each other, all the songs around like these wars and everything in between, around how the people felt and what are you gonna risk for doing this, and the reasons behind you wanting to do this.
Right. So
I think
is everything written for that one? For the EP, I mean.
if it's written.
Do you guys have the EP finished or?
Yeah. It's
Right.
coming out next month.
Okay. So have you disclosed the name of the EP yet?
We have. It's called MXIII, which is the Roman numerals for
Right.
1013, which is the year that Sven Forkbeard
Right.
its conquest of England.
All right. So now more on that. Which would you say that are your main influences? I mean, musical influences, similarities, where you draw your inspiration to work on songs. And what can the fans expect when they listen to your EP?
Musically, I think we all have different backgrounds we come from. A lot of us, most of us, listen to metal in some degree or other, but also folk metal. But what folk metal we listen to is quite different. Like a guitarist and I have been enjoying a lot of Skalmøl recently,
Right.
and there was one of the songs on the EP which had the working title Primordial, because the first guitar part I wrote for it reminded me of Primordial. The first single, actually, we used to describe it as Storm, like the Norwegian band with was it Fenris from Darkthrone who was in that when they did that record.
Yeah.
But I think the band that we subconsciously maybe pulled the most from is Iron Maiden.
Right.
Like we always come back to just, oh, we just can do a Maiden riff there,
Right. So
which
the
works
fans can
very well in folk metal. Apparently, I don't know.
the fans can expect a lot of harmonized guitars and stuff like that.
We have some harmonized guitars
Nice.
where they fit in, and that was when we came up with doing that idea, which is it's like not original at all, just felt so right.
Yeah. All right. So okay, guys. That's it. Thank you so much for doing this. So before we wrap up, please a message for your fans and for the people who will discover your band by the time that we air this, or when they pick up the EP and perhaps track back to check out this interview.
Thank you for the support. Like the support we've gotten so far, we've played one show so far because of the COVID restrictions and so on. And the support has been immense. Thank you for listening to the music, and we'll see you out there on the road when it's possible.
Yeah, thank you guys, really.
Okay, so this is it. These guys have been awesome. I've been Tiago, and we'll see you around. So cheers.
Thank you.